Hello guys, it's Mr. TDC here. Guys, all right, so I want to tell you guys something. I want to try something new on this channel, right? I want to, every now and then, talk about certain topics and focus on those topics in short form videos, not necessarily long forms, right? Because I found that I think that way I'm able to put out videos a lot faster, and there probably won't be as much editing for these videos. I'm just going to give it to you guys very straightforward and very raw in 5 to 7 minutes or less. Bear with me, guys, but this just has to be done, because the long form videos, which I will still do every week, the long form videos take a lot more time to put out, because I do them personally by myself. I don't have a team. I'm doing everything by myself. It takes a lot more to put them out and bring them more regularly than I would like. All right? So these clips that I'll start doing now, which are shorter forms, I'm going to call them quick clips. And on today's very first episode of Quick Clips, I want to talk about the return of Francis Ngannou. Ladies and gentlemen, if you know Francis Ngannou, he was a former UFC heavyweight champion, baddest man on the planet. He beat Stipe Miocic in their second fight, defended his belt against Cyril Gane, and then after that defense, his contract ran out and he couldn't come to terms with the UFC, and UFC let Francis Ngannou go. And we all know how that story went. Francis Ngannou eventually ended up signing with the PFL as a part-time owner and also as an athlete. And then Francis Ngannou also went further to explore, opportunities in boxing by boxing Tyson Fury in a fight that I thought he won. But then he also went on to fight Anthony Joshua. And boy, that put a bad spell on his boxing career, right? So Francis is 0-2 in boxing. And we haven't heard much from Francis since that KO happened. Like, Anthony Joshua pulled his lights out. Gone, destroyed Francis Ngannou, right? Now, here's my thoughts. It's just been announced that Francis Ngannou is returning to mixed martial arts with a fight against Renan Fiera, who is the current PFL heavyweight champion, who's on a 4-fight winning streak. That dude is a bad boy. He's 6'8", I think he's 260 pounds, on a 4-fight winning streak, and defeated even, popular names like Ryan Bader. Young, hungry dude. Francis Ngannou is making a return to fight that guy. Now, I don't know how the PFL rankings work. I don't know why Francis should come back and immediately get a title shot in PFL as his very first fight, his first mixed martial arts fight in almost 3 years. I don't know why he's getting a title shot, but I'll tell you this. Recently, I've been hearing things about, Francis has been making the rounds on different podcasts. He went to the Jackson podcast, I believe he was there. He also recently had himself on the Joe Rogan podcast as well. The one thing I noticed about Francis Ngannou on these podcasts is that Francis's confidence has waned a little bit. And this seems to be a pattern. Because if you remember, Francis fought Stipe Miocic, which was his first major MMA loss. And after that, his next fight was with Derek Lewis, and he was extremely gun-shy because his confidence had waned. And it's like Francis does that after major losses, right? His coach, Eric Nixick, has recently been, I've seen him on a couple of interviews talking about how, Francis mentally was not in the right space after the loss. He's dealing with a little bit of depression and things of that nature. And I'm like, Is that the mindset you want to have when you're coming back from almost a 3-year layoff to fight in mixed martial arts, and then you're coming back to face a deadly ass champion, young, fresher, faster, bigger than you are? I don't know. I'm very worried. Let's just put it this way. I'm very worried. I'm very scared for Francis Ngannou. I don't know if Francis's headspace is where he's supposed to be. But at the same time, if there's one person that we shouldn't really just write off, it's Francis Ngannou. With his journey on how he got famous, how he got into mixed martial arts and boxing, how he got played by the UFC or got dropped by the UFC and came back with a win. Because I consider everything Francis has achieved since he left the UFC, I consider all those things as wins, from the financial gains to the exposure, right? Even though the AJ loss was literally a very big dent in his fight record, and probably his self-esteem as well, probably. But I don't want to write Francis off. I really don't. But I just want to express that I'm very scared and I'm very concerned, okay? I hope it goes well for him. The fight is going to happen on October 19th. I will definitely be tuning in to see if this, I want to see if this video ages very well. Let me know what you guys think about all this. You know, share your thoughts. Mr. TDC out on Quick Clips. Peace.